Good morning, this is Vicki.
And this is Jo.
And we're the Two Natural Ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show. You're with the Two Natural Ladies.
Yes.
And now we're going to get on to Christmas and gratitude as well. So gratitude turns what we have into enough, Aesop.
I really like that. Yeah. So it does, I think, when we can truly actually presence it.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just reminded of I don't know what it was, a meme, the choose your hard meme, and it was divorce is hard, marriage is hard, choose your hard. And I was thinking, during the lockdown, I know parents with kids, school-age kids, were tearing out their hair because they're trying to homeschool them, and it was hard. And then on the other side, I saw people who lived on their own, who all of a sudden were completely isolated from people. And I know some of these people are now, out and about, just about getting a Facebook photo of every meal that they're having because they're out.
Yes.
Yes. And so, but that would have been hard to be
Yes.
isolated. And, I feel fortunate. I had a couple of my family around me. Not all of my kids were around me, but I had a couple of them there. So I think I would have found that a lot harder if all of my kids I had been separated. So there's lots of versions of hard out there. Yeah.
And then, as you said, the flip side, being grateful for what you do have.
Absolutely.
And we can, whether we're on our own, whether we're with too many people or feels like too many people, we can find things to be grateful for.
Yes.
And I think at this time of year, particularly when we're looking at Christmas, there will be people who on Christmas Day will be on their own. And, it's like find something that you can be grateful for, find a way to make the day. And it is only one day. For me, Christmas Day is just a great opportunity if you can to be with family.
Yeah. So. Well, and even a phone call or
yes,
a Zoom call or a letter.
Yes.
An old-fashioned letter.
My youngest son, who's actually the person we're going to Christmas Day, he said, or maybe we should just, forget about it and we'll just have a Zoom call for half an hour.
What? Why? Is it getting too hard?
Yes, I think, yes. Yeah, because they're actually doing Christmas Eve for Chloe's side and then Christmas Day for our side.
Oh, my goodness.
So I know.
Yeah, they might have wanted to separate that.
I know,
yeah.
yes. But anyway.
Well, people are bringing... We're doing Christmas at our place this year.
Yes.
And usually we go to my dad's house. It was my daughter offered, and she's the chef.
Beautiful,
yeah,
good, yes.
In the hospitality, but there was no hesitation in taking us up on the offer.
No. Yes, I was the same. I mean, Frank was like, "Oh, you could still have it here," and I'm like, "No, please, no."
Well,
yes.
But then people bring things, and it sounds
that's right.
like you guys.
Frank's going to be cooking up a storm on Christmas Eve. I'm actually working Christmas Eve, but he's cooking up a storm.
There'll be tons of food.
Yeah,
which
is really interesting because we used to have, when we were growing up, we had the traditional hot food, the traditional English hot food, the turkey and the chicken and the hundreds of vegetables, and it was crazy because it all had to be so, and we have a big family. This was my mum's side of the family, and a big, 20 people to try and coordinate all of that, to have it all be warm when we were sitting down.
How do you do that?
Well, it just never really happened.
No.
There was always parts of it that were cold. And my my mum's side of the family, really, really noisy and everybody talking at once. And then we'd go to my dad's side of the family, which were very quiet. Again, we'd have hot food at night.
Yeah.
And then we'd a lot of us played musical instruments. I played the violin, and we'd play Christmas carols and people would sing.
Yeah.
So two completely different kinds of Christmases, but hot food.
Yep.
And then, or now, we don't have any hot food. Although, no, we do heat up the chicken and rice that Frank makes. But everything else, we have the prawns and we have a lot of seafood and beautiful salads. Oh, all the yummy salads. And
You're making me hungry.
What about you? What kinds of foods do you have now?
Well, don't exactly have my head around the menu. I think we're going shopping later. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah, look, we're not traditional at all. I even wondered whether we needed to, do the Christmas table thing. It's like, do we? Yeah. Anyway, no. When we go to my dad's, my stepmum Trina, she's more traditional with her.
Because she's from England, so
She is from England. Yes, we imported her.
Yes.
So yeah, but I was just going back to what you were saying. I think you're very balanced, Joe, with your. I suppose I relate to the whole my family when we go to my dad's side.
Yep.
My dad's side, we're very noisy and very loud, and my husband's side not so much. Like we'd sit there and we'd be quiet at dinner, which I felt like something must be wrong if we're quiet at dinner, but that's just how it is. But neither side we've had music or singing or like you did.
Yes,
So-
it was actually really lovely. It was as I said, very different. We go from these. It was a big day. At least we were all in Melbourne. We didn't have to drive to, somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it was a big day, and yes, it was like complete opposite. And then when my kids were growing up, so that was when I was growing up, and then when my kids were growing up, then you've got more people. So then the Watson family side, which is my mum's side of the family, we then did that a couple of weeks before Christmas. And again with food, because food was a big part of Christmas for us. And my auntie, she would do these taste sensations with the boys. So they'd sit on the table outside, because my parents, it was always at mum and dad's place, or generally at mum and dad's place. And they would put, different foods together, like smoked salmon and capers and whatever. And, and of course, my kids had smoked salmon. So, I'd say to them, what do you want for food? They go, smoked salmon. I go, yeah, right. It's a treat, not an everyday thing. So then Christmas Day was one year was lunch at mum's and dad's and dinner at Frank's folks, and then we'd swap around. Because that's the thing, you've got to try and fit everybody in. And I know with my kids, it's trying to fit in, because they've all got partners. How do they fit in their partners with? So it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And
It does.
But look, so far we have navigated it all very, very well. Jackie and James, those two, every second year they've got lunch with Jackie's side of the family, and then the other year they've got lunch with us. But even when they have lunch, they come at some point,
Yes.
and spend a bit of time with us. So.
Yeah, well, you can do that when you're close by. But, some people, they'll do, Christmas lunch for one side of the family, the weekend before Christmas.
Yeah, or Boxing Day.
Or Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxing Day is good because you've usually got heaps of leftovers.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Just keep eating.
Yeah, that's right. Just like Winnie the Pooh, I think I've got to start right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And what about you growing up? You
Well, my mum's side of the family lived in Sydney, so we wouldn't usually see them around Christmas, but we would go up in January for a family holiday. So we'd rent a holiday house, usually sort of north of Sydney on the coast, and all hang out together. And that was, it would be very fond memories of my childhood. Yeah.
And would you have Christmas gifts, or was it just it was
just a get together.
Right.
Yeah, Christmas was done by then. So my memory of Christmas, because mum and dad were both from Sydney, so it was very family, like just the four of us. There was my brother and I, my mum and dad, and Christmas was always very exciting. Mum would go over the top with presents, but it was never anything that I'd asked for that I can remember. She used to surprise and delight me with what she'd given me. And I think she liked to shop, and she'd gather, during the year. And yeah, so it was, for me, it was a quiet day just with us. As I got older, I remembered sort of thinking, I wanted to go and see my friends in the afternoon. But when I was younger, I'd just be engrossed.
Playing with whatever you got.
Yeah, engrossed with what I had. And one year we got a tent. That was fun.
Oh, yes, yes. Put that up and get into that. And, yes. Oh, did you sleep in it?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Well, for many years I wanted a horse, a bridle, and a year's supply of food. but I never got it.
You never got it?
Because I didn't want Mum and Dad to have to pay for the food. So that's why I thought the year supply, because when I asked them if I could have a horse, they'd say, no, a horse is too expensive to feed. So I thought, okay, I'll ask for a year's supply of food as well as the horse and the bridle and the saddle and ask for everything. Yeah. So they didn't have to pay for anything.
So Santa would provide.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
No.
Anyway, the other thing I love is I still have the very old book, The Night Before Christmas, and we read it. I got it read to me as a child. I read it to my boys, and there's not one year we haven't read it. So I said to Michael, my second son, and Kris, my first son, lives with it. I said, okay, you guys have to come and listen to the story. So it's read. Because both James and Jackie and Nick and Chloe are busy on Christmas Eve, but the other two aren't. So
okay, so
they have to come and sit, and I on the couch, and I read The Night Before Christmas to them.
Oh, goodness me!
Oh dear! And then they each had a pillowcase. They put up the pillowcase ready for when Father Christmas came.
Yes. So my kids created their own tradition.
Yeah.
Of sibling, like sleeping all together in the one room.
Oh, how gorgeous.
Yeah, so my son, who moved out earlier this year, is actually coming over.
Oh, and they're all going to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, so it is very sweet.
Yes. And you were saying that your kids are now giving you lists of what they want.
Yes. Well, I just remember not giving my mum a list and her just surprising me, whereas now it's completely flipped. They don't want to be surprised. They want what they want.
Yes.
So I do.
Yes.
I get lists and requests and less is more from my older kids as well. We don't want just stocking fillers anymore. So yes, times have changed.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. I was actually listening on the way here to that they were talking about, are vouchers okay? Is money okay? And look, it got to the point with our kids that was the best thing to give them.
Yeah.
Because to try and give them something they were happy with was very difficult. So it was just better, look, give them some money. They usually needed money, wanted money. So it was like, okay, we'll give you some money, So much as that's pretty boring. But of course, we last year we did Kris Kringle, and it was Op Shop Kris Kringle. This year it's called... They call it Bad Santa, where but again, it's a Kris Kringle, but we all put I've just found out the rules. We've got all the presents on a table.
Yep.
And then we pick out of a hat our number. And if I'm number 1, I pick a present, I unwrap it. And then if you're number 2 and you like what I've got, you can steal it from me.
Oh.
So it's all about, you can actually have the ability to steal a present from someone. So if you're number 15, you're the best because you can pick whichever one you like the best.
I feel like there's lots of different variations of this.
Yes.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.